News that a US federal court has blocked Trump's trade tariffs has boosted risk sentiment, lifting US futures and the US dollar while safe haven trades unwind. The US International Trade Court concluded that Trump overstepped his powers by invoking emergency laws to justify the bulk of his levies and is blocking the trade tariffs. Now, the White House has appealed this decision, and the final decision could still lay with the US Supreme Court. Now, US indices are responding positively. We've got the Nasdaq trading up around 1.8% ahead of the open. The futures of the S&P are also up around 1.3%. These are also helped by encouraging Nvidia results. The US dollar is also trading higher. We've seen the US dollar Japanese yen rally around 0.6%. However, it has just eased off the highs of the day. Interestingly, despite this positive knee-jerk reaction, I think there is still some uncertainty which will be lingering. I mean, the decision and the subsequent appeal does mean that there is a level of uncertainty that is going to remain. And that uncertainty, as it continues to play out, may continue to impact business investing and also hiring plans. So until there's more clarity, we may find that this rally stops short of going back up to previous all-time highs. The decision and the subsequent appeal does mean that this uncertainty will continue to hang over the markets and could prevent rally back up to previous all-time highs. I think the question is very much what will happen next. Will Trump attempt to sidestep a ruling or will he just plain ignore it? But I think whatever happens, Trump's response to these measures will continue to drive the markets, which have been very headline driven in recent times. Furthermore, this uncertainty, I think, really supports the view that the Federal Reserve will stick to its patient stance and wait and see mode. And as a result, that does mean potentially gains could be limited. So just taking a look here at levels for US dollar, Japanese yen, I think this is quite an interesting chart. We did see the price rally up to that 146 level, just pushing above the 50 SMA. However, it's been unable to sustain those higher levels, and I think that is a little bit of nervousness creeping in. As a result, we've seen a pullback back towards that 145 level. Now, the RSI is neutral. I think the market will be looking very much at what comes out from the White House this afternoon. But if we do see a push above that 146 level, that's going to be key in order to expose 148.65. That was the May high. A break above that is needed in order to create a higher high. However, it's also worth keeping in mind that we could see some yen strength just because we're seeing those expectations of the Bank of Japan to continue hiking interest rates at least once more this year. So that does mean that gains in the US dollar, Japanese yen could be limited. On the downside, sellers would be looking for a break below 142.10 in order to create a lower low and see bearish momentum take charge.